I'm so frustrated right now. I don't know where to go from here on this video even. What do I do? Guys, I am so excited about this video. It is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. Lori, if you're watching, you will remember our conversation way back when about our room sprays. So I have been on the struggle bus with these room sprays and it's driving me crazy. So at this point, I don't care about cloudiness. Bring on the clouds. I don't care. I want them to stop separating. So let me show you what I have here. This is lavender. Look at that. Can you see how well that's separated? That is like significant. And I carried it down here, so it's a little bit cloudy. So this was like pure clear. So I made this with poly 80. Now I know poly 80 is oil soluble and not water soluble. And I understand that, but then I was seeing all of these YouTube videos and I'm thinking, do they know something I don't? I still don't know if they know something I don't. That was a huge fail. And in my mind too, I was thinking, well, poly 80 is probably a stronger emulsifier than poly 20. It's a higher number, guys. So this is my poly 20. And guys, I feel like I just mixed this, the fragrance and the poly 20 so long. But look, it's still separating. I don't care about the cloudiness. It's separating. There is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There is on top of the band of white, a smaller band of fragrance oil that's sitting on top. This is another one. This is Moonflower Nectar, where the fragrance oil is heavier and you have a band of gold. That gold is the fragrance oil. So you have to shake it. It's cloudy as all get out. Again, bring on the cloudiness. I don't even care at this point. I cannot make a room spray that doesn't separate. So we're gonna do a battle of the room sprays right now, guys. I have 3 different room sprays I am going to test with you and share with you my findings on which one is, I think, gonna be the best. This I made last night. I put my fragrance oil, my polysorbate 20, and I blended it with my little mini whisk mixer, like a little frother, for 3 solid minutes. I added the preservative and blended it for another 2 to 3 minutes. And then I added the water and I blended it for another 2 or 3 minutes. So far, day 1, it looks fine. So I'm gonna get this in the bottles and move on to my second test. Lotion Crafter has 2 different room spray recipes on their website. One is made with cyclomethicone and one is made with CME, which is Caprol Micro Express, which is a surfactant. I do now kind of get that a surfactant does emulsify. I don't understand how the silicone emulsifies, but there you have it. We're talking 95% cyclomethicone to 5% fragrance. That bottle for Moonflower Nectar, one of my 4-ounce bottles, would cost me over $7 each to make one bottle using cyclomethicone. So that is off the table for this test. I'm not doing that. We will use CME, and I did buy Simply Fresh Odor Neutralizer Base from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I think this might be, yeah, it's an Elements Bath and Body product. All right, we're gonna try this for you, just for something different. I am going to fill these before I get this being a mess and dropping and spilling. There we go. This is the Moonflower. That is water, polysorbate 20, and fragrance with some preservative. I'm using Optifin Plus for my preservative. Everything's kind of reset here. We're going to start with the odor neutralizing base. So first things first, I need to put my polysorbate 20. I did get this just on Amazon. I'm doing 4 to 5%. All right, so that is 16 grams. I'm going to put 16. I'm making a mess, but I'm going to cut most of it out. 16 grams of my Moonflower Nectar. And I'm going to blend it. And I'm going to blend it pretty good. Hang on. Okay, so that was probably right at a minute or so of blending. I'm gonna go ahead and get my Optifin Plus. It doesn't say that you need Optifin Plus on the website, but I'm gonna do it. I feel a little bit better with that, having a little of that in there. All right, so that was probably another solid minute of blending that in. Excuse me. So now I'm going to get my basin, 331 grams. I don't remember how much this cost, but these 3 bottles took up 2/3 or even 3/4 of that bottle of 16 ounces. I'm going to call that good. And guys, I understand that there are differences in fragrance oils, and some fragrance oils will be easier to blend in and emulsify than others, but it just strikes me as every single fragrance oil I've ever used separates. Okay, so I have my bottles pre-labeled so I will know exactly what's what. The odor neutralizing one, it has too much foam to pour yet, so I'm going to let that settle. I may have to pour that, tomorrow. So on to the one with the CME or the Caprol Micro Express. So this is a little bit different in that you can't use as much fragrance oil when you use this. You need to go down to 3%. So my water amount for this batch is 298. For my CME, I'm doing 55 grams. And my Optifin Plus, I'm going to be putting 3.7, so I'll just round up to 4. Almost out. I'm going to stir this in. It doesn't say you have to stick blend it or anything like that. It just stir these together. I will just mildly run this through here just to get things mixed in really well. And I am bringing up a bunch of bubbles, so I'm sure I'm going to have to let this settle as well. And so for my fragrance oil, I'm only putting 11 grams in, where for this same batch, I was using 16 before. So I'm just gonna let everything settle, and I'll just bring you back in a few weeks and we'll see how they're looking. I don't think I like it that far away, do you? I could not see anything that you were seeing. So if for some reason the video is crap, I would have no idea. It has been just, 3 weeks maybe. And I have just left everything in this basket. And I am going to carefully lift them up and let's see what we have as far as separation. This is horribly separated. Guys, worse than ever. So this one is the Water Fragrance Polysorbate Optifin. That is, look at that. I mean, it mixes fine. That is not what I want. So look at that. Look at that separation. Gosh. And maybe it's the fragrance oil. I mean, I know I use this Moonflower Nectar, and maybe this one is just not going to be very good as far as mixing well. All right, so this is the CME. There's a line. I don't know, can you see that? Let me see if I can focus. Do you see that line? It's a little weird. It almost looks the same above and below the line, but it's maybe just a little bit different in its appearance. That's crazy. And then the base, this is much more opaque and this is much more translucent. It's less so, but it is still has a gradient appearance. I don't know. Every fragrance oil I try has not been good. That's just the CME one though. That's just weird. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated with these things. I'm about ready to call it. I'm just frustrated. They don't sell that well for me, but it's one of those things that I like having them on my shelf, and I'm getting like a little bit to the point where I'm mad about it, and I'm starting to feel like a little bit of a stubbornness creeping up. I'm feeling very stubborn about this. What the heck? What the heck? 3 different formulas and they're all not perfect. I don't know I don't even know where to go from here. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what to do. Package them in the opaque white, like natural bottles that I was going to. Okay. Shake before use if separation occurs. That's what's on my label, guys. And I keep marking these down because they're separated and I'm losing money by marking them down. I don't even know what to do. I'm so frustrated right now. I don't know where to go from here on this video even. What do I do? I'm going to think about it. I have to think about it to figure out where I want to go from here. From not only making these, but this video. Am I done? Is this it? I have to think about this, guys. I'll be back with either more thoughts or to end the video. I got on the Facebook page, DIY Candle Making Beginner to Advanced. I would highly recommend that Facebook group. And I shared my struggles with the room sprays. And I had quite a lot of suggestions and different recipes to follow and different things like that. One of the users there directed me to Hawthorne Candles Company. I will find that video and I will link it down below. She said she uses that formula and she has great success with it. My problem with this formula is it doesn't add up at all. She uses 5 to 10% fragrance oil with a 1:2 ratio of poly 80. So she uses poly 80, 70% of alcohol. I did buy 95% ethanol. It's 190 proof alcohol. I found this on Amazon and this is in my Amazon shop. So that's always linked down in the description. I thought about using my husband's vodka because I don't drink vodka, but he does. And I never have gotten his vodka from him, with witch hazel and glycerin. So all of this 70% alcohol, 20% witch hazel, 5 to 10% fragrance oil, 5 to 10%, maybe 20% of poly. None of it adds up. So I am going to take what they did in their demonstration on the YouTube channel, and I'm just going to pretty much follow that with 0.35 ounces of fragrance, double that with poly 80, then add in the alcohol, witch hazel, and glycerin. And then she also says to let it rest for 7 days open in the air. And I think that's to help with the alcohol smell to maybe go through. Now, all of that equaling up drops the alcohol from 70 to like 55% of the formula. So that's where it was really throwing me. But I am not touting this as a sanitizing spray by any stretch. Apparently, this alcohol, if it stays above 70 or 69 or 60 something, then you can market it as a sanitizing spray. I have no desire to market anything in that realm. First things first, I'm going to put my fragrance oil. I haven't even chosen a fragrance oil. I do not want to make Moonflower Nectar again, simply because, good night, I have so many of those bottles right now. So let me go get a fragrance oil. I'm going to choose something different. I'm using Sea Salt and Lily from Brambleberry because this is one I've used. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It has separated. Maybe not as bad as the Moonflower Nectar. 0.35 ounces of fragrance. 0.4, I'm going to call that good. Sea Salt and Lily is such a good fragrance oil. And then my Poly 80, I'm going to put this in at 0.7, or I would say 0.8 probably. So I'm going to mix this until clear. Well, it's not clear in the sense that it's colorless, but it is clear in the sense that there's no cloudiness at all to it, and it does have a viscosity to it. So I think I'm gonna move forward with the next step. Oh gosh, finally. According to this formula, I am to put 2.45 ounces of this alcohol in. It doesn't really have much of a smell at all. And I'm gonna stir that in. It has clouded up really quickly, and now it's clearing back up. And then I need to add 0.7 ounces of my witch hazel. Ooh, that smells worse than the alcohol. And then glycerin at 1%, which would be 0.35. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't even be that, because 0.35 is 5%. You know what? I'm just gonna add a dash of glycerin, and I'm gonna call that good. This is just a tester. All right, I'm just gonna leave it open and uncovered for 7 days. I'm not waiting any longer. It's not been exactly a week, but it has been, excuse me, I have other little projects going along. It smells pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and jar it up. And there, guys, there is no separation. All right, there it is, clear. It's not like I wanted cloudy. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want cloudy. I just didn't care about that because the separation was so much more important to me than the cloudiness. This is not separating, guys, at all. At all, at all. So that makes me really happy. 4 months. I have been working on this video and these room sprays for 4 months. I am finally finished. It's been a long time coming. So let me just show you what I have. This is Moonflower Nectar. It has been maybe just a week, right at a week since I made this. And I didn't show you this part of it, but after I made what you just saw, the Sea Salt and Lily, and I tested that out, I really liked it. I ended up making 3 more, but I just could not get myself to make more Moonflower Nectar. I had so many on my shelf. So I made Black Raspberry and Vanilla, Burst of Energy. These are both Micah's and More scents. And then a High Tide. Get that one from Candle Science. So those are done. And then I got to thinking, I need to do a Moonflower Nectar because this is a battle, right? And the battle has to be like standardized. I can't just use any old fragrance. I have to use the one that we started with. So I, a week ago, ended up making another batch of Moonflower Nectar just so I could have a true comparison for you guys. And it is not separated at all. Now, weirdly, and I didn't go back and look at the video, but weirdly, they're all like this yellow color. I have no idea why they're yellow other than maybe the Polysorbate 80. At first I thought it was a fragrance oil, but there's clear fragrance oils. Some of these are just completely clear. So I'm thinking it's the Poly 80 maybe. So my older fragrance oils with my Poly 20 or the CME or whatever, CME, is that what it is? I get 4.25 and I have room to spare. These I can barely get 4 ounces in this jar, in the bottle. So there is less in here than the other formula, which takes me to the price comparison. I'm just gonna start cheapest to most expensive for me. So with Moonflower Nectar from Candle Science, the Poly 20 Water Optifin fragrance, you know, that real basic one, was $1.46. And that includes my packaging. The CME surfactant one was $2.07. So we're looking at about 50 cents more for that one. The ethanol one was third in cost, and this cost me $3.11. And then the odor neutralizing base cost me $3.66. So if I take the base off the table, it is the most expensive. And if I can get by with not using a base, I'm going to. So I'm going to take that one off the table. The ethanol one compared to the most cheap is, you know, $1.75. So it's $1.65. I was thinking it was more than that. So it's $1.65 per bottle more expensive. I don't know that I could ask for more money on these to kind of offset that increase in cost. So I would say I'm just going to, like, I don't know, eat that cost or whatever. I'm just going to keep my prices the same. And keep these at, I believe, $10 is what I've been charging for them. And I'm just going to keep them at $10. It's not, you know, probably the percentage of profit margin that I need to go in most of my products. But I will say, other than having to keep it on the open bottle for a while like that, is kind of annoying. It kind of like, I have to find a good place to put those out of the way while I'm waiting a week. It's really easy. There's not a lot of work. The labeling's easy. The packaging is easy. The actual labor of this is easier than some of the other things. And so that allows me to maybe have that smaller profit margin without too much hurt on my time and resources. I'm really happy. So thank you, Hawthorne Candle Company, for sharing a really good recipe. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know about the yellow. That's just weird to me. I don't know. Let me go look. I'm going to try to find it. Okay. So her video, they're yellow in color. So I'm good. I'm happy. I was just like, is this right? It's got to be the Poly 80. If you know different, let me know. But I'm really happy to have something I can be proud of on my shelf. I don't feel like I have to apologize for everybody that buys a room spray right now. Oh, I'm sorry, you do have to shake that. I don't have to do that right now. And this is something I'm very happy. I'm just very happy this is over. I'm so happy it's over. I am just so almost just like, you know, gut sick of these things. But I'm so happy to have figured it out. I want to thank everybody from the what is the Facebook? Dang, I can't think of anything. So I'm trying to find this Facebook page so I can tell you the Facebook page name again, because I can never remember exactly the words. And it's like, it's gone. I cannot find this anywhere. Oh, there it is. DIY candle making beginner to advanced. I spent way too much time on that. I want to thank everybody on that Facebook group that helped me along and suggested what they suggested. I had some really great conversations and back and forth in there, so I just appreciate that as well. So that's it for me, guys. Everything's going to be linked down below. The original video will be linked down below as well, so you can go check it out and see her packaging is just perfect. It's just a little too expensive for my blood. I found some really cute bottles on Etsy that would be beautiful, but they are expensive, so I'm going to have to see. I'm trying really hard not to spend money that is not absolutely necessary, and I have plenty of these bottles. So anyway, ramble's over. My hair's in my eyes. Thanks for being here with me through this 4-month-long video. I wonder if my hair changed a bunch. Take care, guys. Give me a like if you did. Please, please, please. Love those likes and the subscribes and the comments. So do all that. I appreciate you, and I will see you next Saturday.